Hello and welcome to the shooter assembly video where we're going to be building the shooter mechanism. As you can see, we have all the parts laid out here. If you want more specifics on these parts, you can look at the bill of materials. One thing to note is that the flywheel polycarbonate piece can be found on the VEX form with a link to a drawing with dimensions so that you can make your own polycarbonate piece. Here are the parts we will use to build the flywheel gearbox. It's important to note where the holes for the high strength axle have been drilled. Alright, let's get started. Alright, now that you've seen all the parts, the first thing we're going to do is add these on. So, you're going to put a regular bearing into the inside of these here, as you can see. And you're going to put two half-inch screws and two cap nuts on the other side. We do that 2 times. We just did the first time, we're going to do it one more time. With the other. Alright, now that these are done, we're going to be attaching these two here to this piece right here. This is the 22, as you can see, I added the 23. So, the whole placement for this is, place these nicely in here. We can base this whole placement off of where the pinion is going to go. Since this is going to go here, we're going to go 3 holes back. So, this is going to be on the, based off of middle holes. The middle hole here is going to be between the 13th and the 14th hole, just in here. See, those two match. So now that these are here, you're going to take 2 1/4 inch screws per, stick them inside of the holes here on the side like so, and then you're going to screw them in just a little bit. That way you can fit a caps nut on the other side. This might take a few tries. Then you go to the opposite corner and you do the same thing. You tighten it down, it should look something like this. Screw here in the opposite corners. Then you're going to do the same thing for the other one. So as you can see, this is the placement of these. Alright, now that this is complete, I'm going to connect these 2 bars together. This is the middle piece. If you're looking at this sideways, it would be something like this. So we're going to attach 2 2-inch standoffs, 2 holes up, so on the 3rd hole, and 4-inch screws. I'm going to put 2 more 2-inch screw standoffs on the last 2 holes. Finally, we're going to attach this like so. The 1 hole going off the front side of the thing, leaving the 2 holes that we left in the back on the bottom bar open. These standoffs might not perfectly align, but they will. If you noodle them around a little bit, they should align. The 2 high-strength drilled out holes should be aligned at this point. Now we're going to take our 2 motor caps and put them on the back. These should be aligned with the holes that you had before. And the 2 motors should be facing away from the high-strength, from the drilled out hole. Alright, once the motor caps are on, as you can see, we're going to install the gears. Now the 2 axles that you have, you stick them through here. Should be able to spin pretty nicely. As you can see, if you take any type of insert to the motor, slide this through, they should be perfectly the height, just to the point where they're underneath the C-channel. Now we're going to take the axle, we're going to put it in, take the 3 washers that we have, stick them into the axle. So. And then we're going to take the collars that we have. These are going to go here. And then we're going to take a 2. Just should look something like this. Then we're going to take the gear. And this one is going to be a 3. And then you take the motor inserts, whichever one, doesn't really matter. Stick it in, you spin it until it goes into that. Push down as far as you can. And then you tighten the collar. Usually with a T8. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing again for the other one. As you can see, these should be able to spin very nicely. Alright, once this is done, we're almost done with the gearbox. The last thing we gotta do is take the axle, which as you can see right here, I have shaved down specific parts. This was sanded down on a belt sander, as you can see. So this is to reduce friction in very specific places. If you can't do this, that's okay. You can just drill out your bushings or drill out the bearings themselves. So for this, we are going to put the bearing on the opposite side here. It should fit pretty nicely. This bearing should go next to the caps, motor caps, and directly on the shaved out hole. Then you're going to take a bushing or as you can see here, placing the bushing right into the hole. Now, when I do this, if you did shave it down, you have the shaved down part that's on the shaved side going downwards. As you can see, you should line up directly to the bushing and the bearing. Now we're going to put in the spacing for this. So you start with a 1 spacer. It's not that big. It's not the smallest one, but it's one above the smallest one. Slide that on, and then you take a 1/2 inch high strength spacer, slide that on. Then you take the pinion, you slide that on. This would be the spacing so far. Then you take the smallest high strength spacer, you slide that on. Finally, the collar. It's the only spacing you have. Now it should be able to slide on with the collar. You don't want to go too far, but you don't want to go not far enough. It should be resting right where the point where the high strength shaft was shaved. Then you're going to tighten the high strength collar, and you're going to be done with the spacing. You can see this can move very nicely. It's the most important part that we need.